Now, as you know that diseases are caused by many factors, we have already discussed. So, there is a natural defense system which is present in our body. That means there are certain physical barriers which are just trying to prevent you can say, contact of us with the microorganism. That means they act as a barrier, certain physical barriers. I'm just going to write here. So, there are a certain physical barriers present already in us, and which is just trying to prevent the entry of germs. So they form actually a natural defense of our body. So what's that? It is skin, mucus, tears, HCl and WBC. They are just trying to prevent you can say they are acting as a physical barrier to prevent the entry of the germs. Now first is the skin. As you all know that this outer covering is called as skin, so it is actually preventing the entry of germs into your body because it is forming a protective covering. Second, we have a mucous membrane. As you all know that in our nose a sticky substance is secreted. In our nose a sticky substance is secreted which is actually capable of trapping the germs. So what does it do? It traps the germs. And you know that the cells of the mucus also possess the cilia, which again prevent the entry of the microbes, or you can say we just trap the microbes. Third is the tears. Tears actually wash out germs, or you can say that how it contain the antimicrobial substance. It contains the antimicrobial substance which kill the microbes as well. So that means when you are crying, so it is better for you because it is just trying to wash out the germs from your body, and moreover it has an antimicrobial substance also which can actually kill the microbes also. So that means don't think like that, don't start crying that we are crying just for the sake of cleaning the germs. Don't do like that. But still if you cry, so that means it is better for you because it is killing the germs. Don't take it serious, okay? And the next we have is HCl. HCl is actually an acid which is secreted in a stomach, and what does it do? It kills the microorganisms. So sometimes if the microorganism is not trapped, and if you just take it inside in food in stomach, so it is going to be killed by the acid. And moreover, if if the microorganism is capable of entering into your body, or if it enters into your bloodstream, so there are a special type of cells, that is WBC, white blood cells. They are present in blood. Their function is to kill the microorganisms. So how they kill? Either they eat the microorganisms, that means it actually eats, they act as macrophages, that means they become a bigger cell which can actually kill the or you can say which feed on the foreign particles which enter into your body which can be harmful for you. Or what they do, they secrete certain proteins, that is antibodies, which fight against the microorganism. So that means they all form the natural defense. They are present naturally in the body, and they are just trying to form a physical barrier. And if in case physical barrier fails and if a microorganism enters into your body, but still we have a WBC cells which can actually fight against the infection causing agents. So these are the factors which are forming the natural defense. Now moving on to the natural defense system. Now moving on to the natural defense mechanism, you can say. So the natural defense mechanism is the immune system. It is the immune system. So immune system is actually, first we'll define the immunity. So what do we mean by immunity? Immunity is actually a resistance against diseases. Immunity is actually a resistance against diseases, that is naturally you have a power to resist the disease, and that is called as immunity. And immune system is a special kind of system which provides the immunity to a body, that is a resistance against disease, so that because we encounter germs daily from morning to night, we encounter so many germs. So if our body will not have a certain kind of power to resist disease, then how we can lay our life properly. So that is why we have the inherent property, you can say a natural tendency of a body to fight against disease, that is the immune immunity, and it actually falls under the immune system. There are certain kind of cells and all which are working for the immune system, which try to provide us immunity. So what is the basic thing which that means, which is present, which is providing the immunity? That is the antibodies we discussed here also. What are antibodies actually? They are the proteins. Antibodies are actually the proteins which are going to fight against microorganisms or anything, or the toxin produced by the microorganism which can actually harm us. So antibodies are actually the proteins which fight against the microorganism or which fight against the toxin produced by the microorganism. So in return we can say that they are helpful in forming an immunity which forms the immune system. So now we see that we have different types of immunities. Like we have the immunity is the resistance, and that resistance comes in various ways. How? There is an innate immunity, not can be, it is always present. So it is the immunity, that is the innate immunity. Innate immunity is one which is being provided to us like since birth. That means this is the immunity which we inherit when we are born, and it passes from generation to generation. So that means this type of immunity is present in us from our parents, and this is an innate immunity, and it is going to pass on to the next generation as well. Second we have is the infantile immunity. This immunity is inherited through placenta. This immunity is inherited through placenta from your mothers when you're born, right? So this is infantile immunity. Acquired is that which you acquire during your lifespan. Suppose I fall ill sometime, so that means when I fall ill, so that means certain kind of things or proteins is synthesized in my body which is going to kill that infection. So suppose now those proteins are, so again I'll take an example. Suppose I suffer from measles or something. So against that disease my body is trying to protect my body. So what does my body do actually for me? It is trying to synthesize a certain kind of antibodies against that measles. So suppose I get well now, so still those antibodies remain in my body so that they prevent the reoccurrence of the disease. So that means that immunity, that is that antibodies or that prevention is formed within my body, and that is going to remain for a longer period, and I have acquired that immunity because I have acquired the disease, and in return my body has synthesized that antibodies, and they are just going to remain in my body for longer time so that it can actually prevent the reoccurrence. So that means that immunity I have acquired in my lifespan. Next is an artificial acquired immunity. It is being given to a person during by vaccine. I think you are familiar with the process vaccination. So we are going to discuss that now. But before we discuss, so I think you know that what is a natural defense mechanism? That is the immune system. It provides us the immunity, that is the resistance against diseases. And how it is being provided? It is provided by the antibodies. And what types of immunity which we have in our body? We have innate immunity, which is provided to us since birth. Infantile, which we have acquired from the placenta when we were in our mother's womb. Acquired, which we acquired during a lifespan, suppose we encounter any disease. So resistance, that is the immediate resistance which is formed in your body, which is just trying to prevent the disease, or which is just trying to stop that disease. So that is the lifespan, means which has occurred during a lifespan. So that is the acquired one. Artificially acquired, which is acquired by the vaccines. So now I think it is you are familiar with innate, infantile also, acquired also, and coming on to the vaccinations, that what is actually vaccination or how it provides us the immunity. So vaccination, what is vaccination? Vaccination is a process in which the vaccine is administered to a person, which is going to provide immunity to a person. Right. So now the question is, what is vaccine, or what does a vaccine has? See, vaccine has either weak or you can say the dead or harmless. weak, dead or harmless microorganism is inoculated in your body, in your bloodstream or in your body. So whenever any foreign particle enters into your body will regard that particle as a foreign particle. So it will start carrying out certain process so that it can just make that foreign particle harmless. But when you administrate a weak or dead organism, it is not going to cause any disease in your body. But still our body will regard it as a foreign substance, and it will start its natural defense mechanism, and in return what they will do is they will synthesize the antibodies, and these antibodies will kill this weak or dead or harmless microorganism. So as I told you that they were not capable of causing any disease. So antibodies are formed, but still the antibodies are formed and they remain in the body, and so that they can actually prevent us from disease in a lifespan, that whenever we encounter that kind of microorganism, so we have a certain kind of power to resist that disease, because we have the antibodies already produced in the body. So these antibodies, or this vaccine is not for all the disease, it is for a specific disease, the specific fatal disease, so that you can just protect yourself from disease. So this is actually a schedule, because vaccination is done at very early age when the child is born. So this is actually a schedule for the vaccination which is being followed when the child is born. So just look at it. You just have to have an idea for that, and you don't have to learn it, but still if you want to upgrade your knowledge, so just try to learn it, but otherwise it's not very necessary. So when the child is born, at the time of birth, hepatitis B injection is being given, and still on the birth we provide the polio drops also. The vaccine against polio is OPV, oral polio vaccine. So at the time of birth we inject hepatitis B and OPV. And then in 6 weeks, when the child completed 6 weeks, we provide the vaccine against TB, that is the BCG. And between 4 to 6 weeks, there is one more vaccine is given, that is hepatitis B again. And at the 10 weeks, we provide DPT, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus. So this vaccine is against diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus. Oral polio vaccine again and again hepatitis B. At 14 weeks, we provide DPT2, hepatitis B and again OPV. In 24 weeks, we provide DPT3 and OPV3. What is 2, 3? These are the doses which we are, like the first administration of first DPT, then the second. So this is how it is numbered. At 9 to 12 months, we provide OPV4, oral polio vaccine 4, and the vaccine against measles. Next 15 to 18 months, we provide vaccine MMR, that is, it is against the measles, mumps and rubella. At the completion of 18 months, we provide DPT booster dose 1, booster is a strong dose, followed by OPV 5. At 24 months, there is a vaccine for the typhoid which is administered, and when a child completes 4 to 5 years, there is a DPT booster dose, that is the strong dose, that is the DPT booster 2. So this is actually a schedule which is being followed for a child since the time of the birth and extend to 4 to 5 years. But nowadays what happens, these are the common vaccines which a child should be administered. But now what happens, there are so many, there is, like with modernization, with the use of industries and all, there is, you can say the person or a child is more prone to disease. So we have certain kind of vaccines which are already not included in this chart, but still they occur, and they are being provided in, you can say, private hospitals and all. So that is also meant for a for our benefit. But still, if you look for the government dispensaries and also, these vaccines are the minimum vaccines, you can say minimum number of vaccines that the child should be administered in order to prevent good immunity in the body. So this is what is in vaccination. I think you got it, that what is natural defense, what is the natural defense mechanism, what are antibodies, what kind of immunity do you possess in your body, and what do you mean by vaccination, and what do you do actually in vaccination, and how you are trying to protect the child from the disease, and what is the schedule for the vaccination for a child since he's born. So this is what we should know about, because these are the basic things and we should be aware for that, and please try to spread awareness also.